Okay. I have some notes here, and I just don't have a ton of time because my daughter's napping, so I want to get this done while she sleeps and discuss what's going on with, Etsy, their free shipping announcement it was about 10 days ago. I think it was on July 9th. They put out a notice in your dashboard. I'm sure you've seen it saying that orders over $35 in the US will ship for free if you opt into this new shipping feature. And those that do opt into this new shipping policy or whatever will get priority placement in search. So I've seen so many people, I'm in a bunch of Etsy seller Facebook groups, and everybody immediately was like, oh my God, did you see your dashboard? Everybody's freaking out. And I've seen tons of YouTube videos, and people are voicing their opinions, explaining the pros and cons, what they think. A lot of it is negative. A lot of people are expressing their concerns, which are valid. A lot of people have made a lot of really good points about how this is going to impact their business. But everybody, of course, jumps to the immediate, how am I going to eat this shipping cost? If it costs me $15 or $20 to ship something from one side of the US to the other. So especially, if you're on a coast, which you probably are because that's the most populated areas of the United States. It's very, I'm on the coast, I'm on the East Coast. So, if it's going to cost you $15 or $20 to ship an order, where is that money coming from if you're going to opt into this and try and get in search? Because everyone who's selling on Etsy, who is really, in a lot of these Etsy groups, a lot of people are really heavily focusing on SEO. It's like the golden goose egg everyone is chasing to try to get, number one in Etsy search. So today, I just want to talk everyone off the ledge a little bit and just kind of talk about my thoughts. Please comment in the comments here what you're thinking, how you're feeling, what are your concerns, what do you think, if anything, is there positive about this? And what I want to say is, well, I have a lot of thoughts, and I'm going to try to stay somewhat organized. But my first thing to say is I've seen a lot of people say, oh, I just turned on the free shipping and nothing's happening. I'm not getting better results. I'm losing money already. They're turning on this feature. They're trying out the free shipping. They're going through all of their items and making everything free shipping across the board. A lot of people are taking a lot of action right now. And I just want to tell you, whoa, let's bring it down a notch. The Etsy stated that this does not take effect until July 30th. So if you change your pricing now, if you want to bump up your prices or do the math and get prepared and increase your pricing now, that's going to make sense. That makes sense. But to turn on the free shipping now, you might be jumping the gun a little bit, because if you're really counting on that shipping, then by turning it off now, you're getting the negatives without the positives. So the reason why people are going to participate in this is because they're looking for that bump up in search, the priority placement, whatever that means. But that doesn't take effect until July 30th. So I would say wait to pull the trigger on this. Take some time, do some math, and think about putting this into place maybe July 29th, the day before it goes into effect, or maybe even in August. In the article, they did say, Etsy said that they were going to do a PR push in September to let Etsy customers know that this whole free shipping thing is a thing. So even if you don't get to do this until, August, there's not a huge rush. There's no reason for you to be implementing this right this minute. I would wait until the end of July or maybe into August and see how things shake out. So again, we don't even know what impact that this change is going to make, but we have no idea how much. It's not like all of the sudden crap products with crap SEO are automatically going to get number one just because they've opted into this free shipping thing. So I really think it's kind of a little bit of a wait and see, which is every change, everything on a platform that you don't control. Like you got to find how you fit into the bigger picture. So I think that's kind of like the biggest thing. Like, don't rush into this right now. You're not going to get priority search placement until July 30th and beyond. So it really makes no sense to like jump into this instance, unless you already have been trying this over the past year. I know a year ago they made a similar announcement, but they didn't put the emphasis on the search placement. So you may have already been trying this the year, and maybe you want to try it again. Like, it's fine to be experimenting, but don't be freaking out that you're not like number one in search right now, because that hasn't even taken effect. And another thing to keep in mind is that in terms of Etsy SEO, there are many factors that are involved in how Etsy is going to rank you in search for any certain term. And you never know what people are going to search for. Before you might use a tool like eRank or Marmalade or whatever. But basically, Etsy SEO is more of a complex machine than just like, I put a keyword in my tag and title and I opted into free shipping. Why am I not number one? Like, there's a lot of factors that go into it, and we don't know yet how this Etsy free shipping over $35, if you opt in your shop to that, how that's going to affect it. Another thing is, let me look at my notes, to use the tool that they've provided, and because it's like a shop-wide opt-in. So if you don't have to set free shipping on every single item. If you have a bunch of $10 items or $20 items, like, you're not going to set free shipping on all of those things. If somebody just buys one $26 item, they're still going to pay for shipping. So use the tool that's provided, so that way if they buy two $26 items, then they're going to be over that $35 threshold, then they're going to get free shipping. And don't do it like, I think you can do like coupons this way. Like, they made a special thing that like opts you into this. And I think using only that official route is going to be like that little search bump or whatever. So if you decide to take advantage of this, make sure you use like the tools that they've given you. And from what I understand, they've made a bulk edit tool. So if you have products that are 35 and up individually, then it would just take one item to opt that person into free shipping. They have tools so that you can bulk edit those items. Now, you're going to have to figure out the math on what makes sense, how much you're going to need to increase your prices. So why is free shipping at a certain dollar mark even a thing? Like, why is this even a thing? You know, across any e-commerce site, you might see you go to a website and it says free shipping over 50 or free shipping over 75 or free shipping over 150. Like, where do people come up with those numbers? Why is that even a thing? Like, why are people offering that? Basically, the reason why people use it is a strategy to increase average order value. So let's say I have an e-commerce website, and generally speaking, the average order, if I look through all my orders and I do a bunch of math, and the average order value is, say it's $40, $39, $40, then I might want to put on my website free shipping over 50, because that is just a little bit above what people average spend. And maybe by seeing that, they will say, oh, well, if I just put, one or two more items in my cart, then I'll get that free shipping. And it's just psychology. For some reason, a lot of people don't want to pay shipping, and they will literally buy things that they don't need, or, that they might have been on the fence about. Maybe they're like, oh, I kind of wanted that thing, but this is enough to push them over the edge to buy that thing. Now, if your products in the first place aren't priced properly for a sustainable business, then adding more products to the cart for you is not actually helping you. So you need to make sure that your items are priced in a way that you are making a profit, that you are covering all your expenses, your overhead, your labor, your rent. And even if you make this out of your house, you have to think, like, someday, if you ever have the goal of being any bigger than you are, that you're going to have to pay rent. So you want to start working that into your pricing now, or you will never get to that point because you'll never have the money in order to pay rent in a studio or something. So basically, you want to make sure your items are priced properly in the beginning. There are lots of different pricing tools. I know Lucky Break Consulting has Price-O-Matic, and I believe that Layla just like totally redid the Price-O-Matic tool, so that might be something that you look into, or you can just, do math. It's just math. Running the numbers and really understanding your business, like what it takes in order to be profitable. So the reason why is that you're going to increase the average order value. Now, what I wonder is like, what was Etsy's average order value? Because Etsy is comprised of lots of different shops. So, what one shop's average order value is going to be different than another shop's, but Etsy is making this decision based on the entirety of Etsy. So I wonder what the average order value is that they were looking at that made them come up with this $35 number. So for some shops, this $35 number is going to be a great price point to help increase their average order value. Maybe if your shop, the average order value was like $25, then this is going to help you. And it's probably going to be pretty good for your shop because hopefully people are going to buy more. But it's not going to be an advantage if Etsy sellers already had an average order value over $35, then now that's not helpful. Basically, the whole reason people do this is in order to increase their average order value. So I guess I would say things to consider is, number one, this is only for customers in the United States. So if you're an international seller, if you're not in the United States, then you might want to consider, like, are you targeting US buyers, or are you targeting buyers that are closer to you regionally? Because obviously shipping costs vary greatly when you're shipping overseas or you're shipping out of your country or whatever. So you're going to want to just evaluate whether this is going to be a huge impact for you, whether you want to target US buyers. And that's just going down to who's your ideal customer. Is it people in the United States? Is it going to be worth it for you? Is your market going to be able to bear the cost of rolling in, taking this shipping cost? Because you can't just not account for it. You can't just not get money for this. Like, if you just eat the cost of providing free shipping for everybody because you're just so nice and you're not going to raise your prices and you're just going to offer free shipping, like, you're not going to have a sustainable business and you're going to go out of business. Like, you're not going to be able to keep up with this because, I mean, Etsy sellers as it is generally aren't charging enough anyway. And so they're just like working for nothing, and that's not fair. So, what I will say is that this is going to really test you in your business capabilities of, like, are you pricing high enough to make a sustainable business? And the people who just don't really think about this and they just opt into this thing to try and get better placement and they really don't run their numbers, it's not going to be sustainable, and they're going to be out of the picture, and they're not even going to be your competition in, however long they can withstand this losing out on the money. So in a way, I think that this might lessen the competition pool, because eventually people are not going to be able to keep up, and they're going to be like, screw Etsy, this isn't working, and they're going to get off. So I think that this could be an opportunity to really set yourself apart from the crowd and create a sustainable business for yourself. And I think those who do this are going to rise to the top. Not literally like rise to the top of Etsy search, but like figuratively, like your business will succeed. All right. So again, this is for USA buyers only. If you have items that are about $35, so like, let's say right now, a lot of your products are about $35, you have to think about, it's only going to take one item in the person's cart to bump them into this free shipping. So how much does it cost you to ship one item? Think of, sometimes people are going to be close by you, sometimes people are going to be far away from you. So you want to take the average shipping cost of what it takes. So on some orders you're going to lose, and on some orders you're going to win. And this is just how it is. It's just business. So take that average cost, and you're going to need to roll that into the price. Or you could lower the price of that item. If you're like right at $35, maybe you lower it to $34 or $34.50, and then it would take 2 of those items. So if you lowered it to $34, then somebody's gonna have to order 2 of those, and it's gonna be a $68 cart. Yes, before they get free shipping. So you might just lower your price a little under the threshold, and then they would have to buy more in order to get that. So then you're not eating the shipping cost until people order more than one. And so another way to consider this is look at your prices as a whole, as an average across your shop. How many items is it going to take for someone to get to that $35 threshold? Maybe you're selling $10 items or $20 items. Let's say your items are about $20. Then it's going to take 2 items in order to hit that threshold. How much does it cost you to ship 2 items across the country? Or, what is the average cost of shipping 2 items? Then divide that in half and raise your prices by that much, because you're going to have to account for that shipping cost over 2 items. So you don't have to raise your prices, the whole entire shipping amount for each item, but over 2. So it really depends on your shop, how you're going to attack this. And I will say, if your items are expensive and they're affordable to ship, like let's say you sell jewelry, you might be in a better position here because your items are going to be a little bit more expensive and they're small and lightweight. So the shipping is not going to be as expensive. So you're probably going to be able to just roll that into your item price without really a lot of people going like, what? You just doubled your price? So things that are really lightweight or small items, I feel like you're going to have a better time with this. People who are selling bulky things or really heavy items that are not expensive to begin with, this is going to be the hardest for you because you are already paying quite a bit in shipping. And if you were to roll your shipping cost into your item, like sometimes people will pay, $20 for an item and then 10 or 15 shipping on top of that. It's like you're almost doubling the total cart. Like the checkout price is almost double your item price because the shipping was so expensive. And, maybe the buyer seeing that broken down, they were like, okay, yeah, I get it. Shipping is expensive because, and they do it in their head. They're like, well, this person's in, New York and I'm in California, and the item is, the item's heavy, or the item is really big. So you obviously realize it's going to cost more to ship. And so maybe they were okay with, paying that shipping cost. But now it's like, if you had a $20 item and $10 shipping, and now all of a sudden you're making that item $30 or something, or even, I don't know, like the math is eluding me right now, but basically it's going to be harder for you if your items were inexpensive, but then the shipping was already expensive. And that's just something that you're going to have to deal with. Another thing to take into consideration is you're really, at any given point in Etsy search, you're really only competing with those items that are similar to yours, like that are coming up in any one search term. So if your keyword is, let's see, lavender essential oil soap or something, you're only really competing with all of the other items that come up in that search result. So if nobody in your category, like let's say you sell something really big, bulky, and heavy, but it's not that expensive, if everybody in your whole entire little niche doesn't do this thing, then there's no you don't have to do it, because the reason why you would opt into it is in order to get that better search placement. If nobody is doing it across the board, then it's not like that. I mean, then yes, you might really benefit from the bump, but you kind of have to work out your market, because what you don't want to be is in a market where, like in a niche search term, where everybody's opting into this and you're the only one who's not, because then you're really going to get buried in the search because everybody else is going to get a little bit of a bump. So I hope that all of this made sense and was helpful. I know it was a lot. We've already been going like 22 minutes, but definitely there's a lot of factors. And my main takeaway for you is that you really need to run the numbers for yourself. You really need to look at your shop on an individual basis and think of how this is going to affect you, and just kind of run out some hypothetical scenarios if you were to do this or if you were not. And like I said, don't take action, don't opt into this whole ordeal until, you know, maybe July 29th or August sometime, because you're not going to get the benefit. So one resource that I have for you is go to Paper and Spark. Janet LeBlanc of Paper and Spark has tons of spreadsheets and ways for you to help analyze your numbers, and she's going to help you get a grip on what your numbers are for your shop, so you can really evaluate like I hear my daughter woke up. Basically, what are you paying in shipping throughout the entire year? Maybe it's time to start thinking of shipping as an overhead expense, just like materials that you use on a regular basis that don't actually go into the product. So they're not your cost of goods sold, but they are things that you need in order to run your business, like your website, like any advertising you do. Like, it's not tied to a specific product, but it's just general business overhead. So maybe it's time for you to factor your shipping into business overhead instead of factoring your shipping into your individual item pricing. So maybe it's time to do that. Either way, if you really want to get a hold of your numbers, you can do it manually. You can create your own spreadsheets, or you can go to Paper and Spark and get her spreadsheets. If you want to stop relying on Etsy for your entire business, I know a lot of people who make a very good livelihood, who are paying their family's bills, who could be the main breadwinner of their family, or at least pull a significant chunk of the family's household income, and they're doing it solely on Etsy. And whenever I hear that, I just go, because what if your Etsy shop disappeared? Or what if Etsy implements some kind of change like this that totally changes your business? You see it all the time in these Facebook groups where people are like, oh my God, my shop was doing so great, and now all of a sudden it's like Etsy turned off the faucet and now I'm getting no sales. Or, you know, you see a post almost every day in these groups. Is your Etsy shop dead? Because mine's dead today. Or, I was getting sales and now I'm down 50% year over year. Like, you see this all the time. And so if your family relies on the income that you're pulling in from your Etsy shop, it's really time to think about diversifying your sales channels. Like, is Etsy the main income source for your business? Or are you also selling on your own website? Are you also selling on Facebook or Instagram? Are you also going to art shows or farmers markets or craft fairs or holiday shows, or doing in-house parties, or doing whatever, any other way? If you're in wholesale, retail places, if you have a brick and mortar, like, if Etsy is your only income source, it's time to really reconsider that. So if you want a marketing strategy that helps you stop relying on Etsy and stop relying on Etsy SEO in particular, check out Morgan Neild. I'll have to, her course is called Etsy Mastermind Your Marketing or something like that, or her Facebook group, but I'll put a link in the description after this video is over. But at Morgan Neild, she has a course all about taking control of your business and thinking of it as a much bigger picture than Etsy, to stop relying on Etsy as your like sole life force and basically putting all of your precious business in the hands of another business that, newsflash, Etsy's going to do what's best for them and their shareholders. If you haven't realized that already, it's time. Newsflash. They're going to do what's best for them. And by putting all of your trust and all of your potential and everything in Etsy's hands and being like, oh, woe is me, my Etsy shop is down. I'm sorry, but that's just not taking control of your business. Like, if you want this to be a business and you want this to be sustainable, then you need to take control. Now, if this is just a side hobby for you and you just want, to pay for your craft supplies, and then, maybe you just, roll with the punches and just hang out on Etsy and you don't turn this into a whole thing. But a lot of people do want this to be a business. And if you want it to be a business, you have to treat it like a business. So run your numbers with Paper and Spark, check out Morgan Neild, and figure out how you can stop relying on Etsy SEO. Go to the Merriweather Council. She has a group, she has a podcast, she has a course, the Etsy course. She is great. Her name's Danielle Spurge, and she is so funny, first of all. She has on Instagram, she has stories. She's so helpful in leveraging Etsy to work for you. So stop relying on Etsy, but also use it to your advantage. Like, a lot of people are like, I quit Etsy, I'm done with this, I'm so frustrated, I'm pissed off, I hate Etsy, they're just screwing me over, I'm out. But really, I don't think that's the best option either, even though I'm a web designer and I want you to make your own website. Just totally ditching Etsy isn't necessarily the best thing either, because you can use Etsy. Etsy is a tool. Etsy is a marketing avenue for you. And I think that there are ways that you can really take advantage of that to your advantage. I just use that word like way too many times. But anyway, look into Danielle at the Merriweather Council to learn more about how you can leverage Etsy as a tool and as a part of your business. But yeah, I'm just repeating myself. Okay, and then the last resource for you, of course, is my course. I teach you how to build your own website. So if you're not doing wholesale accounts, if you're not doing shows, and if you're not doing your own brick and mortar and whatever, if you're looking for a different sales avenue and you're considering building your own website, that's where I can help you. If you enroll in my course, Create, Launch, and Flourish, I will teach you literally from having no idea where to even start to having your own website with e-commerce functionality and having all your pages customized to your branding to make it, a completely immersive brand experience, and making it easy to build it, like drag and drop easy. And I'll teach you how to do all of that from scratch. So step by step, exactly how to build your website. So you can go to createlaunchandflourish.com to learn about that. So there's like 4 resources for you. Know your numbers, know what shipping is costing you, know what your average order value is, and, run some scenarios, make a spreadsheet, find a spreadsheet, go to Paper and Spark. Number 2, Morgan Neild. Create an entire marketing strategy that's not relying on Etsy SEO. Number 3 is use Etsy to your advantage to increase your business. Use it as the tool that it's meant to be, not as your end-all be-all, with Danielle at the Merriweather Council. And number 4, if you need to build your own website, come see me. I do build websites for clients. It's not a cheap investment, and I'm currently booking for like September or October. Like, I'm a little bit booked out right now. But if you want to learn how to do it yourself, I do offer a course that's a lot more affordable. And just a lot of people are not at the point yet where they need a professional website. Like, if this is your first website, you don't need to hire a professional per se. You could try to do it yourself if you want, but doing it yourself with no help at all is like, there's information overload, and you're gonna run into a zillion and one decisions that you don't even know how to research, or that you're just gonna get confused about. You're gonna get on YouTube and waste away like hours and hours and hours of your life. So I do recommend taking a course, whether it be mine or someone else's, but there are courses that will help you, just walk you through, tell you what to do, so that you really don't have to like fiddle around with a bazillion decisions and trial and error. Like, you can just build your website and be done with it. I personally teach WordPress. and not WordPress.com, but WordPress with your own hosting. And I'd make hosting recommendations. So if you're looking for Shopify, like if you're dead set on Shopify, then my course does not cover that. Personally, Shopify, I could take it or leave it. I'm working on a couple client sites right now that are built on Shopify. It's fine, but it's not for everyone, just as WordPress is not for everyone. But if you do want to use WordPress, I'm your gal. My daughter's awake. This is way too long. I hope that this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, put them in the comments. And I will see if I can help you out at all. But really, I think we're all in this together. Nobody knows how this is really going to affect anyone. You just are going to play it by ear, and we'll all see on, July 30th, like, who's still standing. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, just don't freak out. Don't panic. Let's all just remain calm and take this one day at a time, and just go ahead and take this time to really run your numbers and think about different scenarios, like what is the average person in your shop doing, and make your decisions based on numbers and reasoning rather than emotion and like trying to get to the top of search. Because like I said, we don't even know how big this priority thing is even going to affect. Like maybe it's like such a tiny boost, it's not even worth it. Maybe it's like massive and it's like you need to do it, and then we cross that bridge when we get to it. But I hope that this eases your mind a little bit, and bye. Have a nice day, and I look forward to your comments, and yeah, I don't know, I'm just rambling. Bye.